Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. I hope you had a great weekend, holiday weekend that is. For those in the US, there was a Memorial Day on Monday and it was a bank holiday, so we had a little bit of a longer weekend, which was kind of fantastic. Let's have a look at how the markets have started since the open and everything got running. We've seen the Dow as high as 200, a little over 200 points in the positive today. It's pulling back quite a bit and kind of slowing down, but everything's going to have a pretty good positive day today. And we've had some data and some news and info out, and specifically some of that news has been consumer confidence. It was expected at a 70.7 and came out at 76.2, and that really got things moving pretty good. Coming into tomorrow, we have a little bit of Canadian and a little bit of Australian news. Nothing for the U.S. or Europe, so it'll be, more afternoon, big afternoon activity as opposed to overnight. Excuse me, overnight. But we do have the end of month fix in the works, which is also a pretty big movement. We can usually see some good things happen in there. So let's have a Let's have a little look at what's going on here. The euro dollar has consolidated a whole bunch and then made this nice little run down today. Good move there, 75.80 pips, and it's pulling back again. I think the euro dollar, I've said this time and time again, and I'll say it again. The euro dollar is playing out nicely with this head and shoulders pattern, and I think the euro dollar, at least for before we start to get a decent amount of pullback or retracement, I think we're going to hit that 127.50. At least I'm still holding out for at least 127.50, and then ultimately I think we're going to hit 127. 100. But 12700 and 12650, those are all my targets. But it gets a little bit interesting as we get more into June. If we get too far into June and we haven't hit those levels yet, then I'm going to pull back, and I'm basically counting on 12750 to be hit again. But any lower than that needs to happen much sooner than later, because if it takes us all the way into like the middle of June, then that becomes a less likely scenario. But here's what we have on the euro dollar, and here's what I like. It's a nice little move down. We had this Friday high consolidation, bank holiday stuff, and then a little bit of movement. It spiked down, and now it's pulling back and retracing. You can see the low right here is a nice little resistance level now, and that also happens to be the 23% fib of this little run here. Now, this whole entire run right here is about 140 pips, give or take. And so this is a perfect little short-term range. So what I'm looking for is obviously a break above this 23% fib, which is around 128.85. We break above 128.85. I'm going to put my stops below this low right here, which is about 128.50. Just about 128.50. So I'll get some stops, maybe 128.45, give or take, and we'll let this break above that 23% fib, hopefully give us a little bit of retracement, and get an opportunity to buy in maybe 128.70 or so, and target that 38% fib, and even very likely the 50% fib, which is around 129.20-ish. So I'm going to look for those to happen. Otherwise, if we get a break of this 128.50, then I think that should give us the run into 127.50 that we're looking for. But if we do get this fib run, I'm looking to trade the euro up into 12900, 129.25-ish area, and then short it against these highs. So the highs here, which currently last Friday's highs, which stand at around 129. Basically that 130 level, basically right at that 130 level, 129.95-ish, right in there. So let's see if we can catch some retracement up, short this thing up towards 129.2030, and then, buy it up into 129.2030 area, and then short it back down to 127.50. Or if we don't get too much movement, let's just short the break of 128.50, which is a pretty crucial level as well. The pound dollar is a little tiny bit different. The pound dollar has broken out very nicely. It's run very, very well from the high of May till the low, the start of the pre-summer movement. So from the highest point to the lowest point so far, it's run just about 600 pips, which is fantastic. But it's also kind of about as much as we typically can expect. Now, we still have kind of the rest of this week to get through May, but typically by June things really start to slow down, consolidate, reverse, retrace, all of that stuff, and that's why I'm kind of being very cautious about the euro dollar if it doesn't hit that 127 100 levels sooner than later, then we'll be looking for that. Pound dollar has hit about the 150 level, and this was initially my target. We've hit it. It came just shy of 150. We got down to about 150.13, give or take. Hit that level, and now it's just kind of hopping around here. And I'm going to start looking for this bigger run right here. You can see our Fibonacci, 23% Fibonacci is at around 150, 150. This little level right here, so we get above that. Expect some larger retracement into 153.40, 152.40, and even up into 153.100. I still think some lower levels are going to get hit on the pound dollar, but it's kind of reached those lower targets. We've got this bigger double bottom here at about the 150 mark, so I'm not going to do anything just yet on the pound dollar. If it does get above, like I said, 150, 150, I think we have an opportunity to buy it up into as high as 153.100. And I will look for some reversal patterns here on this double bottom as it gets down into this general area. It's a little bit lower. It's only 50 pips or so off that double bottom area. If we get down there, then I'll look for some reversal candles and opportunities to buy into this. But I'm going to be very careful buying the bounce of this. I would be, a little more confident about getting into the break above this 150, 150. So again, the pound dollar is just kind of a wait and see for now. But it's turning into something, and it's looking pretty good here. The Aussie dollar is actually quite interesting. The Aussie dollar plowed right down into this level here, which is just below 9,600. And hit this, bounced up a good little chunk, 185 pips, and came right back down to it again. There's that 9,600 area, and bounced off it by about 100 pips, and now it's making another stab at it. Now, one part of the argument could be, we haven't hit this level for a while. We hit it, big bounce, and then we hit it again, smaller bounce, and it looks like we might hit it again. And frequency of hitting levels means that they're pretty likely to break. But when we look at this Aussie dollar on a little bit of a larger spectrum, this area becomes a very interesting area to get long on the Aussie dollar. Try to buy into some of this retracement, because if we look at the Aussie dollar here, daily chart, you can see just from the high of May till now, it's run just about 800 pips. And then if you go till, again, this was May 1st high. We're still in May, obviously. If we go down to April, the high of April, then we're down just about 1,000 pips. So this is about as far as something can go before it needs to start, pulling back just a little bit. And so this 9,600 area is starting to look very, very attractive. If we look on the short-term area right here, we don't have any fib levels, for a good long ways. So I really like the buying the bounce of that low. The other thing that I like is our low of last year. The entire low of last year, you can see here, is just about 95.80. And then we hit this level again, so now the low that we've seen this year has been 95.93, so 13 pips difference from these two lows. Big tests, and I think this is a good area to catch a bounce of at least 100 pips, if not a good bit more. But you can see that we haven't even been able to close below 9,600 in a couple of years now. So it tested again in 2011, tested it in 2012, and here we are testing it in 2013. And I think that this definitely merits a risk of some pips. So an entry like this, we need to have our stops below 95.80, so 95.70, 75, and profit targets most likely starting off at this 23% fib, which from current market price would only be about 140 pips. So that's kind of what I'm looking for right now on the Aussie dollar. Buy against that low. Euro yen, nothing interesting at all. Aussie yen, we took a little stab at the Aussie yen reversal here, and the news spiked us out before it ran down. So it did exactly what we were looking for. The news just kind of the news gave us a little bit of trouble there. But I'm watching the Aussie yen. It's from this channel here. It's done exactly what we've expected, which broke through the 23 and hit the 38. Now it's bouncing on the 38. So we're going to keep an eye on this. I'll have some details coming out on that one. But those are the setups I'm looking for right now, and I think we've got some great opportunities coming up, and I'm really looking forward to it. So keep an eye on Twitter at DayTradersFX, and check out my website, daytradersfx.com. Thanks, everybody.